Welcome to TradeTheMBI.com. This is John's report. It's for the 2nd of June. Well, despite what, people see on the news and everything about, riots and destruction, those are often more overblown than the reality. And current reality is the price adjustment that the market is making, both for a turnaround, but also for, like I said, the inflationary nature of the amount of money that's being thrown into the system. So we continue to slightly push the highs. It's not exuberant by any stretch, but it's just like a baseline support, and you can just find the algo levels that we look at, and we just bounce right off of them and go back and forth from there. We would expect that to continue the same. I mean, even here you have the NASDAQ now with DSC cyan moving under red, green over red as well, and rising short-term buyers. So complete turnaround of the shakeout here. And that could actually bolster the S&P as well and give it a little bit more oomph. I mean, we're already starting out on the pre-market green side. The euro continuing its move right back up towards the top side of the range now that things have at least stabilized. Not that they're any better in Europe, it just seems to be moving along moderately, but this is just to keep up with where the U.S. is at, and certainly right in the middle of the range. It's not as threatening as it was before, and this certainly bolsters the U.S. side of things because it will improve trade situations. Of course, everyone's going to be watching China and the reaction to the whole geopolitical considerations given the virus setup, and that's just something that's going to continue to play out. We'll see the early dynamics, because what will happen is the big players will know what the ultimate outcomes are going to be beforehand, and we'll be able to see that when they actually make a move. That obviously bars any sudden maneuver that they're not even anticipating, which doesn't happen all that often. From a oil standpoint, again, still pushing in. So we talked about this as we get towards the 50 number. That's when things become a little bit more interesting from a dynamic economic standpoint, and whether or not we see rising interest rates outside of the Fed's movement, which would facilitate broader inflationary concerns, and that certainly will send gold way past its current level right here, which is still maintaining its relative highs. Nobody's getting rid of it. It's just an accumulation. It's just a matter of when it breaks out and how far. So we have the press above our previous algo mark here at 30.50. The futures opened up lower. We tested what? Exactly the 30.13, same one, then bounced all the way back up to it, and then just kind of played with it. And then it was later in the day that I came on and I pointed out we were reaching a point where we were looking poised to break out past and above the 30.50 level. And boom, sure enough, we did. And that started the next wave, because that became a little primary threshold. They checked to make sure that any little stops or whatever that people might have were covered, and then boom, in pre-market we've cleared it fairly significantly. Of course, we're setting a whole new series of positive extremes, beginning right up here with the 58, and continues all the way through. We've filled back a few of these other ones already right now, likely to come back and potentially fill the rest of them before working the day to come back up towards the highs. So that's just how it's been going, and you're seeing the full resets that take place within the DOC. So it's just a matter of waiting for the resets and then following the new buy setup. So clean action. I'm still loving the ranges. I think they're fantastic for us. So this maintaining of high volatility just means that active traders are just having the best opportunities to really maximize returns from a daily standpoint. So we'll just keep following what is, and no objections to it. As always, though, I will put up anything unique or relevant and let you know about any updates that I've made to indicators. Trade well, and I'll see you on the Skype chat.